Hey guys, I am just not even gonna bother the intro this time around, so let's just hop right in. Overlord season 4 is great as usual, except there's just way less actions than the other three seasons. There's probably actually only like two or maybe even three actual legit fights that takes place throughout the season so far, except the rest of the show's just been pure politics, which is weird because Ainz doesn't know the first thing to diplomacy, as previously established, so most of the time he's just kind of going with the flow or do his own side quests. So it's really the Guardians doing most of the work this season, but it's either that or the shit Saltier fight against the CG dogs. So I'm really fine with the politics. Another thing, the meat writing is just incredible this season. Every time my man Ainz opens his mouth, he's just getting stroked more than usual for Overlord. But I'm different, right? I'm not like the other fucking meat writers. I'm rating this show probably just B tier. Could it be A tier, but it's not like super good or anything, so I'm going to B tier. Engage Kiss, I thought this year was going to be a shitter, but it's really not at all. Kind of a good show if you just shut your brain off and watch it. This show poses to be about Shu trying to solve his mystery of his parents' murder and maybe save his little sister, but it's mostly 90% his ex and his demon wife engaging in the free-for-all to see who gets to beat right the longest. Where it does good in is the visual department, and the mystery is cool but predictable. Also, the black guy looks normal for once. Why can't all anime make black people look like Miles Morales? Why do we always have to have white hair? And as far as the show being worth watching or even good, the answer is I don't really know. No fucking clue. It's fine to me. I'll watch it every week with a smile on my face, but I'm sure most people don't like it. But most people's opinions are stupid anyways, and I'm always right. So this show is a B tier. Only because they got the black guy right. Class of the Elite Season 2, it's very good. Let's get that off right at the bat. It's very good. But in good conscience, I can't immediately give it S tier like I really wanted to, like I would season 1. Main issue is after season 1 and thinking that will never come back, I went back and read the light novel. So I know that there is a lot of cut content, and for whatever reason, the animation this season kind of dropped, and it's pretty sad. But as far as like plot and shit goes, just purely based on what we saw, it is easily high A tier. And from everybody else's perspective, Ion Koji this season just went from being nice and smart to just a fucking absolute demon. Like everybody in the school is a tool, and the school is his tool shed, telling people to spread them and shit. That's just demon. That's demon activities. Bro's guilty. Anyways, besides that and the animation quality dropping for whatever reason, it's still very good. Better than pretty much every other show this season. So I'm giving it A tier, but I wish I could give S tier, but I can't do it in good conscience. Ruby, the anime, has finally become an anime, if that makes sense. I'm stuck between awkward good and it being bad. Reason being because Ruby originally was a 3D cartoon that wanted to be an anime but got kind of Americanized. So it felt like a nice attempt, fresh even, but now that the wannabe anime is now an anime, the show kind of come across as awkward. It's like watching somebody pretend to be themselves, which is just weird to watch, and at the same time it looks very good. The plot itself isn't all that bad, seeing it's just mostly repeating, until we got soft locked into this boring, useless, absurdly fucking long dream arc, which isn't fun to watch at all. And quickly, without thinking about it too much, I have to drop the C tier. Only because it's just okay. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not exciting really either. It's just C tier. But if I keep talking about the show, it's just gonna go back down to D or even F. If it keeps falling where the show's going now. Harem in the Labyrinth in Another World is our biannual House is Not a Hentai anime, except unlike Radio of a Healer, there's absolutely nothing to this show. It's just sex and every now and then fighting a tree. Literally, this show could be just chalked up to the first 3 episodes of Michio gathering money to buy Roxanne, a literal cum dumpster at this point, and the rest of the season is usually half of it just fighting a fucking tree. They pretty much only be beefing with trees in the show and nothing else. And the other half of the show is just going home to do morally questionable things to one another. The show's exactly what it likes to show you. It's ass. Not even good ass, just flat out just boring generic ass. So it's D tier. Because the show's dick. Is it wrong to pick up Girls in the Dungeon season 4? It's just been so hard to get through, more so than like the last season. And I've always been a hater of the show, but at least like the first 2 seasons I could see why people like put up with it, why they could say it's okay or even good. But nothing ever truly interesting happens. Spells, powers, and shit of plot convenience. It's just your typical anime. That's an anime. But for this season, it's just been a true cheese and mayo sandwich compared to the other 3 seasons. For the first half of this season, once again we're beefing with tree monsters again. Why? Why is the season have so many tree monsters? Anyways, in typical fashion, everybody waits till Belle comes up to, defeat the main guy while they all sit around and do nothing with a dick in hand. And they do this a lot. Like, they did this twice. Another time where Belle wasn't around and they just actually had a chance to fight the monster and win, but they just sat there and sent one person out and act all fucking surprised when they get fucking curb stomped. And where was Belle? I don't know. He was just kind of just chilling out with some cute monster girl who serves zero purpose to the plot and was just there for fan service. I don't know, man. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. This show's so fucking ridiculous. The plot's even drier than the fights too. So I'm just gonna drop it straight down to D tier. There's just nothing more to say. I just feel stupid and ridiculous for even like sitting here talking about it. I should just quickly just say it was D tier, and you know why. The Devil's a Part-Timer Season 2. I'll go ahead and try to articulate what everybody's been thinking about this, and what it is like, it's an amazing show, but it really did disappoint every fan, including me. The first season was goofy slice of life, but the show kind of did have a central plot, with the main threat of Mal getting assassinated at any time was always there. It was always constantly reminded of it, so it always kind of did felt serious. The goofy would stop at any moment if it needed to. Now this season, Season 2, it's just way more stupid, with a lot less of the threats replaced with a lot of dog shit one-liners. Like, Amy legit, and I shit you not even one tiny bit, Amy legit told Mal after returning his infant child to him, who apparently in his eyes disappeared and was feeling depressed about it, she handed him his child while saying, "How do you like them apples?" And it was supposed to be funny because the kid kind of just emerged from a giant apple, so that's the funny joke, guys. This was the level of writing we're consistently like bombarded with this season, and it's just going to B tier. I don't know. The season's fine, I guess. It just shows like a lot more of ass whoopings and scary shit happening rather than them apples. Rent a Girlfriend Season 2 straight up is as bad as everyone said Season 1 was, and I have enjoyed Season 1 unlike everybody else, so it sucks to say that Season 2 really lived down to its horrendous expectations, which was expected, right? Kazuya really goes brain dead this season. Man could be eating all season long. Bro got baddies lined up, but he just refuses to eat, man. Just chooses Shizuhara. And I don't understand. Like, this show isn't even good bad at all. It's not even a golden dumpster fire. It's that piss-covered, rat-infested in the corner of an LA alley levels of trash. The fact that I made it past 6 episodes in and itself amazes me, with my dedication to like actually watch a good show enough to get its number or rank. So it's just flat out F tier. When will Ayumu make his move, the anime? The answer is quite a lot, since episode 1 actually, which is way more than what most rom-coms usually do, if at all. Not much here to say though. It has a lot of shogun and flirting, and Ayumi just straight up takes Urushiya on a date like episode 3, which is once again surprising and the only reason why I've watched the show past the first 4 initial episodes. Besides it being chill and low-key entertaining like any rom should and would be, they actually do things besides its stereotypical shit. But it already had its Valentine's Day, Christmas Day, and school festival episodes in less than like 6 episodes. So we are really waiting on like the last 3 Infinity Stones, which are the beach, fireworks, and lake/woods episode, before we complete the checklist for making the world's most generic and boring rom-com known to man. So it's not really anything above a C tier, but it's cool. It's cool, I guess. Call of the Night. This anime can only be described as just beautiful. The whole show is aesthetic, full of style, and it has amazing music. This show, in a sense, is about Nazuna, a 40-year-old vampire taken to kill a minor. Which is crazy, because given the actual plot and context and how brain dead Twitter is, I'm not seeing much of anything about Nazuna. Which is good. Nothing should be said, but it's just funny how this is overlooked, yet Nezuko getting milk doesn't. Anyways, plot aside, one could say it's been kind of boring so far, which it is so far technically speaking, but the visuals alone carry the show, and with recent action, fight scenes just are absolute god tier. And there's a lot more to come of this sort, along with the psychology that the show's been building up. Essentially, what I'm saying here, quickly speaking, it's at worst A tier. But in the future, especially perhaps season 2s and 3s in the future, this show is going to be like one of the best S-tier shows we've ever seen. But for now, it's A tier. Made it a best season 2. It's very good this season, definitely above pretty much all the other shows this season, except for like Call of the Night. But Made it the best this season is actually a lot more tame compared to what we usually expect to get, with all the torture and suffering they constantly subject children to. But in a sense, this season can be boiled down to almost one word: cannibalism, and why you shouldn't do it. So, still in tone with what we usually expect to get, but that's all I can say without spoiling much. But I can say, like, the music's great, as always, I guess. And the plot became more about a mystery and suspense rather than just pure adventure. The whole show pretty much takes place in just one layer, and it's pretty much just solid overall compared to all the other shows this season. I think I can go on for a full individual video as to why this show is absolutely amazing, but maybe not as insane as people make it out to be. But as far as the season is concerned, compared to like this show, the rest of the shows this season, it's pretty much guaranteed S tier, and that's all. Isekai Jisan really subverted my expectations as far as isekai goes. The reason why is because, most isekais fall into obscurity, due to the fact that most of them look the same and have the same tropes, jokes, and harems, except for this show, which flips on its head, as other shows I've done before. So the reason why this is interesting is the fact that it doesn't even take place in a different world. It's just our shitty, regular, boring one, and the story is told through his memories on the screen while his nephew and friend watches. It does it in such a way where it feels like you're also watching with them, except every time a Jisan opens his fucking mouth or shows us anything, I immediately flinch, wince, and cringe, because this man is a complete, utter fucking hell. He has inhuman levels of obliviousness, which is, fine. The show's actually entertaining and good, and actually one of the best this season. As far as this season alone goes, I'll put it A tier, but overall I feel it's B tier, so this is B tier. Shadow House Season 2 is great, kind of amazing, one of the better shows this season, except I only stopped at like episode 6, because part of this I watched all the first season to get caught up in like one day, so by like the 5th episode I was burnt out, but it's still better than like other shows this season. In the end, this season is much like the first season, where Kate and Miluko are just kind of put through these random tests and kind of random situations where literal children continue to outsmart adults, who somehow are simultaneously able to hold down an entire village but not babysit a couple kids. It has your corruption, mystery, and I think you could say attempted murder of children, something like that, I guess. It's your typical normal suspense package, so, I'll give it your, I guess, high B tier or low A tier. Either spots can be argued. I don't mind either. Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting is exactly what it sounds like. Grown men taking care of a child. It's neither an impressive show nor is a super interesting one, but you're getting exactly what you think you're getting. There is, however, a lot of Valhalla-induced depression in the show. So for all you Made It Abyss fans, you finally got an alternative show once your season ends, you sick fucks. But for me and the rest of the normal people, it's rather just a normal show. Now, if there was some suddenly central plot later down the line towards the end of the season, say Yaika gets kidnapped for whatever predictable reason, then I won't know, because I'm not giving the show more than 6 episodes of my attention. I honestly feel like the show is just a C tier for how average I feel the show is, and that's all. Lycoris Recoil is a very okay show, I would say. It is, as you expect from merchandise shows, centered around child soldiers, so there's a lot of fighting and hacking stuff, but nothing super good, I guess. It is, however, funny how Chisato and Takana really go out the way to try not to kill anyone, but their comrades, they get absolutely fucking massacred in the show. They get slammed, no pun intended. They get flat out executed and smeared, and they do this casually too. It's impressive how they just go from this to Chisato being a little goofy right after witnessing her friends get straight up buried alive. And assuming Chisato's one of the more older kids from her organization, her being 17, that means these other girls have to be 15, 16 years old. With all this child suffering this season, Made It Abyss fans have just been eating fucking good this season. Get it? Because, the cannibalism in the show. Anyways, Lycoris Recoil is probably just going to go to B tier. Just very averagely good. And, it's one of the shows I can actually eat and digest. So, for that, yeah, it's good B. Alright, now, with all that finished, I'm also not even going to bother with the outro anymore, but I will say that this season has been rather decent, good. Nothing too impressive, but, also not boring. But with that, fuck it, we're done. Bye.